to where, okay, if it's a bottom of the ninth, top of the ninth tie game situation where sometimes you remember they'll bring in an extra outfielder to make it a five-man infield, that's fine when it's strategical like that. But to do it in the first inning, to do it every time a guy comes up to bat, I think you do have to change that rule and make this game a little bit more interesting for the millennials who are not watching baseball, Dave.
Well, it's easy to say, well, just bunt down the third baseline or just swing late and roll it into left field. You get a double every time. But that's easier said than done when you're a guy like Bryce Harper or Ryan Howard or Big Papi who are used to being power hitters. And not only that, but it could really mess with the swing. Now, if they're going up there trying to swing late and chop it down to the third baseline, then all of a sudden you're messing with their swing, and that could really foul them up.
Exactly right. You know, we say that, you look at it from the press box, you look at it from the stands, and you go, the entire left side of the infield is wide open. But now you're asking a guy who's never bunted or hasn't done it since maybe high school to do something he's uncomfortable doing against the 96, 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's not as easy as it sounds. And then when you look at, and I heard Daniel Murphy, who is one of the best pure hitters in baseball, has such a great swing, and a guy I have tremendous respect for, talk about it, and he said, my job isn't to get a single, it's to get a double or a home run. And if I bunt for a hit in a shift, I still need the guy behind me to get a double to score me or hit a home run to score me. So I haven't done my job by getting myself in the scoring position. So I think that's the mindset for a lot of these guys, because they're putting the shift on guys who are power hitters, guys who hit doubles and hit homers.
Good stuff.
They're not going up there looking for these bunts.
Good stuff, Rob. We're out of time. We're going to do this again soon and promote your book in August when it comes out. There he goes, the great Rob Maaddi from AP. When we come back, is Manny Pacquiao back? Back in the title contention? Is the old guy back? Michael Montero from Montero on Boxing joins us next. The Day's with you at NBC Sports Radio.
Tomorrow, SiriusXM brings history and baseball together with a SiriusXM Town Hall featuring Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. The commissioner shares his vision of the national pastime with host Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Sirius 209 and XM 89 with a special encore presentation tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra-long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
SiriusXM.
You're listening to SiriusXM Satellite Radio.
SiriusXM.
Satellite Radio.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
All France, all the time today as Les Bleus, the French, they win the World Cup for the second time since 1998 with a 4-2 win over Croatia. And congratulations to France for winning again in the World Cup. Congratulations also to Novak Djokovic. 13th major title, straight sets win at Wimbledon today over Kevin Anderson of South Africa. Boston Red Sox, well, they beat the Blue Jays 5-2 today, in large part because of the heroics of Xander Bogaerts.
1-1 swing. There's a drive to left field deep. This one is long gone over everything and out of the park. Number 16 for Bogart, 63 RBIs. So Xander homers in consecutive at-bats. The 10th inning yesterday, and now in the first inning today, and a 1-1 pitch.
And good win for the Red Sox as their rivals in the American League East, the Yankees. Well, they lose today to the Indians.
Now here's the pitch to Walker. And the pitch is popped up. Should be the end of the game to shallow right. Kipnis is there calling, and he makes the catch. Ball game over. Cleveland win.
Orioles over the Rangers 6-5. You just heard the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 5-2, and the Yankees lose to the Indians 5-2. Nationals over the Mets 6-1. Marlins 10-6 over the Phillies. Rays beat the Diamondbacks 5-1. 10 innings. It was the Pirates over the Brewers 7-6. White Sox 10-1 over the Royals. Another 10-inning game. Twins 11-7 over the Rays. Tigers 6-3 over the Astros. Cardinals beat the Reds 6-4. Mariners lose to the Rockies 4-3. It was the Dodgers over the Angels 5-3. A's over the Giants 6-2. Cubs over the Padres 7-4. Stays with us, NBC Sports Radio and NBCSportsRadio.com.
Sports don't stop on the weekends, and neither does NBC Sports Radio. Ready for this? It's the Dave Smith Show.
I don't think I've talked as much about soccer in my entire radio career as I have over the last couple of weeks, but I just love this World Cup. Fantastic stuff. And I picked Belgium to win before the tournament started, and not because I know anything about soccer, because I looked at some of the world rankings and said, you know what, I like this Belgium team. It seemed like a good kind of long shot. But it was France 4-2 over Croatia today. They win the World Cup for the second time since 1998. Novak Djokovic wins Wimbledon in straight sets today over Kevin Anderson from the Republic of South Africa. And still waiting for the Kawhi Leonard situation, and July 25th is coming up. That's when there's a mini camp for Team USA, and he's on the team. Greg Popovich is the coach. This should be interesting, and I'll bet you right now, I'll lay 5-1 that the Kawhi Leonard doesn't show up for the mini camp with Team USA. 855-3234-NBC, the phone number is the Dave Smith Show here at NBC Sports Radio. And, of course, hit me up on Twitter at Dave Sports Guy. Keep your engine light in check with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service that helps you troubleshoot the problem. Let's get what you need. Get in the zone. AutoZone. So, last night in Malaysia, it was Manny Pacquiao with a 7th-round knockout over Lucas Matisse. And, Manny looked, I guess, looked better than he has recently, although I think we have to kind of factor in the fact that Lucas didn't seem like he was in there to win. So let's get to an expert on all of this. You see him, Montero Unboxing on the YouTube channel, Undisputed Champions Network. It is the great Mike Montero. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Dave? How you doing, brother?
I understand you made the move to Atlanta, moving out of L.A., and now you're a Southerner and an East Coaster.
I know. So far, the accent hasn't changed. We'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, just got engaged earlier this year. And last time we were on the show, actually, you had myself and my fiance there in the studio with you. And you can't buy a house in Los Angeles, man. It's just crazy. So
yeah, I know.
We sold our condo there for double what we can buy a mansion for out here. So, so far so good. We're liking it.
Sounds like a smart play right here. Mike Montero from Montero Unboxing. All right, let's get to the fight last night. Manny Pacquiao did look a lot better than he did against Jeff Horn. In that fight in Australia, which I thought he won, Mike, he's throwing punches one at a time, looked a little bit slow, looked a lot better last night, but do we factor in that Lucas Matisse was a human punching bag and kind of quit after the 3rd or 4th round and didn't provide much resistance?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, Lucas Matisse, coming into this fight, he had only been stopped once prior, and that was in 2015 against a fighter named Victor Postol, and that was in Los Angeles. Since that fight in 2015, he had only fought twice from that point until last night, going in to fight Manny in Malaysia, and that was against B, maybe C-level opposition. So the guy hasn't been very active. He hasn't been facing very good fighters, and with Pacquiao, yes, Pacquiao is well faded, well past his best, years past his best, really. But he was in there with a completely shot fighter who, it just appeared to me, went in there to collect a paycheck. The one difference Manny had in facing Matisse versus Jeff Horn, Jeff Horn was a naturally bigger guy, a younger guy. It was fighting really, really mauling and grappling, getting dirty in there, headbutting Manny, making it really, really rough. He was an Australian fighter. They were fighting in Australia, and the refs kind of let that happen. Well, Lucas Matisse, pretty much the same size as Manny. These guys are fighting at welterweight now, but Lucas had moved up in weight. He had fought at a lower weight earlier in his career. So Manny wasn't punching up at Matisse. He was punching right at him. One thing I noticed, he was more active. He was throwing more punches. He was pawing with a jab, but he kept throwing it out there. In fact, Manny Pacquiao last night didn't even land 10% of his jabs. 9.8% of his jabs landed. So he wasn't trying to land that punch with accuracy. He was using it to keep Matisse off of him, set up his power punches, he landed almost 44% of his power shots. So clearly the game plan was to keep Matisse off him, set up the power punches. It worked. He looked great last night.
Go ahead, Mike.
We can't put too much into this performance. He's not rejuvenated. He did not find a fountain of youth. He was in there against, as you said, a human punching bag.
Yeah, he was hitting a heavy bag last night, and the guy wasn't giving him any resistance. But I will say his hand speed looked a lot better than it did recently with Manny. I don't know what he's been doing differently in training, but he did look a little better last night than he has, and the hand speed looked a lot better.
Yeah, the hand speed looked a lot better, but again, he was in there against a much slower fighter. Maybe he didn't have as many distractions this time. This time he stayed over in that side of the world, and he trained with his friend, Blue Boy Fernandez. He's been coming over to the States forever to train with Freddie Roach. And, of course, everybody talked about going into this fight, that there was kind of a breakup there. And Freddie Roach had to learn about it on a boxing website. Manny didn't even pick up the phone to call him to let him know he wasn't going to be training with him. But maybe not traveling over to the States and not doing all those sorts of things. You think about all those years he was fighting on HBO, doing all those preview shows and all that stuff. He didn't have those distractions. So maybe that helped him look a little rejuvenated. Maybe the traveling over to Malaysia affected Lucas Matisse to a degree. I don't know, but, people are talking about what's next for Manny. So last night he won a piece of the WBA title. The WBA, in their infinite wisdom, splits up their title into a regular title and a super title. Well, young Keith Thurman, undefeated American fighter out of Florida, he has the super title. So will the WBA mandate a fight between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman? It's definitely a possibility. A year or two ago, I would have been scared for Manny for that fight because, Keith Thurman is a young guy, punches very hard, explosive, athletic fighter, but he himself has been inactive and injured. Thurman only fought once in 2016, only once in 2017, hasn't fought yet this year. So that's kind of an interesting matchup now, and it sounds crazy, but it could happen.
Mike Montero on Boxing and Undisputed Champions Network, joining Dave Smith here at NBC Sports Radio and NBCSportsRadio.com. Yeah, Bud Crawford and I think Errol Spence would hurt Manny. Those aren't good fights for him. You talk about Keith Thurman. I don't think he'd win that one either, and I don't think it's big enough money for Manny to risk that. Now, you look at two that I want to get your opinions on this, Mike. Vasyl Lomachenko, if they can meet at 140, that's a big money fight with a lot of interest for Manny. And a fight maybe he could win against a guy coming up in weight again, or maybe a Mayweather rematch. They're talking about that as well, and that could be a huge payday for Manny.
Oh, man, not the Floyd rematch. Anything but the Floyd rematch, the dud of the century. Yes, so look, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, they would end Manny.
Yes.
So those fights are not happening now. Bob Arum, who, according to him, still has a valid promotional contract with Pacquiao, even though Pacquiao promoted this event himself. I do believe Arum and Top Rank helped out with some of the American television and some of the undercard and all that. However, he also promotes Terrence Crawford. So Bob Arum would love to do a Crawford-Pacquiao fight because that would be a brand-building fight for Terrence Crawford. However, as you say, and as I say, we both agree on this, Crawford's just too much for him at this point. But Vasyl Lomachenko, who really is a featherweight, who moves up and fights at lightweight right now because he couldn't get any featherweights to fight him. He fought briefly at junior lightweight, and there was really nobody there for him. He's campaigning now at lightweight, but this guy could make featherweight this week if he wanted to. So he's a small guy. Going in there against Pacquiao, he would be outsized. And Pacquiao, as we saw last night, still has power. Power is the last thing to go with the fighter. So that fight would be interesting. A lot of people would think, Lomachenko with his brilliant footwork, I think he has the best footwork in sports, not just boxing or martial arts, but sports. That's how highly I rate his footwork. It's beautiful. A lot of people think he could box circles around Manny, but Manny's such a bigger fighter. He still gets in and out with those crazy angles, punches from odd angles with so much velocity and speed. That fight's interesting, and that would be a brand-building fight that Bob Arum would love to make because he promotes Lomachenko. Here's the big question, though. Manny Pacquiao has IRS issues in the United States. That's a big reason why this fight last night was in Malaysia. Would Vasyl Lomachenko and Bob Arum at Top Rank be willing to do a fight that's not in the United States? Would that make sense for them with the deal they have right now with ESPN? I just don't know if that works out.
Mike Montero on Boxing and UCN, Undisputed Champions Network, joining Dave Smith here at NBC Sports Radio. Well, you were in New Orleans for the Regis Prograis fight last night, which was, on before the Manny Pacquiao fight in Malaysia against Matisse. I like this kid, Regis Prograis. He looks like a really good prospect. And we're on the WWL in New Orleans. It's one of our best affiliates here. And one of my favorite cities in the world, Mike, and you were just there. But I like this kid. Regis looks like a really good prospect and another knockout win last night, a New Orleans fighter.
Yeah, and you think about New Orleans, it really used to be a fight town. But the last decade or so, there hasn't been a lot of activity there. And Prograis himself, he's talked in interviews recently, he's displaced from the hurricanes down there, and not one but two recent hurricanes took him to Houston, where there's a growing fight scene, and that's actually where he trains out of now. But there was such a buzz in that city to see a hometown guy fighting. There were only 3,000-4,000 fans maybe there at the venue last night, but they were screaming, they were loud, they were eating it up. And in fact, after the main event, after Prograis scored an 8th-round knockout over Juan Jose Velasco, and punched his ticket for the World Boxing Super Series tournament, which we could talk about in a second. There were 3 walkout fights featuring just local New Orleans fighters, and the crowd stayed. Usually after a main event, everybody leaves, right? They're going out, they're going to do what they're going to do after the fights. The crowd hung around in the arena to watch the local guys fight. And these were just, club-level fighters, but they were from New Orleans. So there is a huge, huge opportunity there for Regis Prograis to do basically in New Orleans what Terrence Crawford's doing in Omaha, Nebraska, what you see Errol Spence doing in Dallas, Texas, the Charlos want to start doing in Houston, the Charlo twins. So there's kind of this return in boxing, in American boxing right now. It's going back to the people. And it's such an exciting time for me to be covering the sport because the last few decades, everything went to Vegas, everything went to the casinos, and of course, all the big fights are still going to go there. Everything's going to go pay-per-view, Vegas, the big fights. But you're seeing more and more events go to the fighters' hometowns, and you're seeing hometown brands being built from the ground up. And Top Rank is one of the best in the business at doing that. Several of their cards this summer have been cards like this with fighters fighting in their hometowns. And for myself, it was about a 6-hour drive down from Atlanta. I wanted to see this fight because I had not seen Prograis fight live. And I'm telling you, the kid there's a mean streak in him. He's a sharp. When he tastes blood, he knows how to go for the kill and get it done. What I saw last night was a guy taking his time, and he was tuning Velasco up, but taking his time. But when he smelled blood, man, he went in there and got the guy out of there, and the crowd ate it up. And now he's going into this World Boxing Super Series tournament, the season 2 of that, which has a loaded talent pool. And the best thing about it, the guys in that tournament, they fight 2-3 times a year. You fight often. And I was talking to Prograis' promoter, Lou DiBella, Friday before the fight. And he was talking about Prograis. He also promoted Sergio Martinez, the former middleweight champion. And he said that there's a lot of parallels, just in the way Prograis has a freaky athletic ability and can throw punches from odd angles, left hands, right hands, and get guys out of there. That reminds him a lot of Sergio Martinez, the former middleweight champ. So he's really excited about him and his prospects in this tournament.
Hey, Mike, can you hang on? I want to talk to you about Triple G Canelo and the Wilder-Joshua thing.
Absolutely, man.
All right, you'll hang on for another segment. Mike Montero from Montero on Boxing. I'm telling you, one of our great affiliates at WWL in New Orleans. It's my pleasure to love the city, my favorite city in the United States. You have a superstar athlete in Regis Prograis. This kid is a boxing superstar, and he fought at UNO last night on that show. And follow him, go to his fight, support him. You've got a star there in Prograis. It's Dave Smith here at NBC Sports Radio.
Hang in there.
You want to hang around, you'll be polite.
We got more on the way. This is NBC Sports Radio.
Granger stands for safety, and they know what safety stands for. S, safety. A, all about safety. F, feeling good about safety. E, extreme safety. T, talking about safety. Y, you guessed it, safety. First aid kits, eye wash stations, fire protection. You name it. For over 90 years, they've been helping to keep facilities safe and people safer. When it comes to safety, Granger's got your BACK. Call or click Granger.com to see for yourself. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Say no to rising prices. Amazon is raising its Prime membership price from $99 to $119 for free shipping. Walmart offers free 2-day shipping with no membership fee. That's $119 back in your pocket. What would you do with it? Go to WalmartFreeShipping.com for the chance to win a $119 Walmart gift card. That's WalmartFreeShipping.com for complete rules and details. Walmart, 2 business day shipping. Minimum $35 order. Restrictions apply.
These days, there's enough to stress about. Do I eat enough kale? Do I eat too much kale? What's the best way to sell my car? What color should I paint the kitchen? Well, at CarMax, we can't help you with the kitchen or the kale, but we can help you sell your car. Because at CarMax, we make real offers, not estimates, so you can sell your car quickly and get back to pondering your leafy greens and picking the perfect paint. CarMax, we buy all the cars.
You have the Samsung Galaxy S9. You are holding the fastest smartphone in your hands. It's the fastest smartphone in your house, in your workplace, in your city, which means you can scroll faster, load faster, stream faster, watch faster, and search faster. All because you have the Samsung Galaxy S9, the fastest smartphone ever.
Analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligent data from February to April 2018, comparing mean download speeds weighted averages on major nationwide carriers 4G LTE network results.
When SiriusXM puts one of the biggest alt-rock bands in the world in a tiny beach bar in the Hamptons, you can win a trip to experience it live. The Killers in an invitation-only performance at the Stephen Talkhouse. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/thekillers before July 18th. No additional purchase necessary to enter or to win. And listen for The Killers live from the Hamptons, July 28th on Alt Nation.
Would you pay $18 for a loaf of bread? Crazy, right? But many people are paying much more than they should with their high-interest credit card debt, more than 17% APR. Now there's a way to lower that rate and save money with Lightstream. With Lightstream, you can consolidate your credit card debt into one low-interest loan and pay as little as 5.89% APR with AutoPay. Plus, right now, radio listeners get an additional rate discount. Just go to Lightstream.com/Fox News. You could save hundreds to thousands of dollars in interest. And with Lightstream's Rate Beat program, you'll get the most competitive rate because Lightstream will beat any lender's qualifying rate. With Lightstream's Rate Beat program, there's no reason to shop around. You know you're getting the most competitive rate and your very best savings. Apply today at Lightstream.com/Fox News and get an additional interest rate discount. That's Lightstream.com/Fox News. Lightstream.com/Fox News.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit Lightstream.com for more information.
XPO Logistics is one of the fastest growing logistics companies in the country. To support that growth, our Expedite team is adding owner-operators. We're looking for the best of the best. If you own a tractor, straight truck, or Sprinter, we should talk. We'll keep you moving with steady freight, high miles, reliable payments, and one of the best compensation packages in the industry. Don't miss out on our reduced startup costs and substantial sign-on bonus. We need you, and we can help you kickstart a successful career in expediting. Beyond per-mile compensation, our package includes pickup and drop-off pay, driver referral bonuses, great discount programs, nationwide roadside services, 99% no-touch freight, and fuel surcharge. Your independent lifestyle is most important to us, and we make sure that it's reflected in the way we do business. Call today to learn about this exciting opportunity at 855-976-8139. That's 855-976-8139, or visit us at xpo.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louis found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $500 million for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louis has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louis.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-361-5513. 800-361-5513. 800-361-5513.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Looking for a franchise opportunity with some serious growth potential or an opportunity to convert your existing dry cleaning business? Think Tide Dry Cleaners. Now with locations nationwide, we're ready to take on the world. For a limited time, our development incentive program reduces franchise fees and royalties and provides up to $25,000 in marketing. And don't forget to ask about our conversion incentive program, which offers reduced fees and royalties for the conversion of existing dry cleaning businesses. If you're ready to clean up in the dry cleaning industry, please visit TideDryCleaners.com for more details.
Weekdays, it's Under Center with Mark Malone, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, on NBC Sports Radio. Listen for it. Fasten your seatbelts. We're flooring it again. We are NBC Sports Radio.
Keep your engine light in check with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service that helps you troubleshoot the problem. Let's get what you need. Get in the zone. AutoZone, back out to the guest hotline right now. Kind enough to hang on here, Mike Montero. What's up, Mike? Thanks for hanging on with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Well, I heard that Steve Kim gained about 40 pounds and might be having to go to alcohol rehab after that trip to New Orleans. Is that true?
Man, Bourbon Street. It's no joke, man. I'd probably gained 10 pounds myself. So we definitely had a lot of fun. Good time.
The Triple G and Canelo, you know what's interesting to me about this is I'm not buying for a second Canelo's story about tainted meat. What the levels his testosterone went up, he would have had to have eaten the whole cow for the levels to go up that high. But he didn't get any punishment at all. You know, that suspension, who cares? The suspension ends in September. He's going to make another, $75 to $100 million, and he gets the rematch and makes a whole bunch of money. So what was his punishment?
Well, his punishment in the public eye is his reputation.
Yes.
So his reputation has taken a major, major hit. And I wrote a piece for Ring Magazine in last month's issue about this, just about how this case was the most high-profile case involving performance-enhancing drugs, testing, where we had an adverse find for such a famous fighter, right? And we've never had a case like this in boxing for an active fighter. And how does this affect the whole world of anti-doping and the testing and the punishment, the adjudication, all of it? And I guess we see that in the end money talks, because this is going to be a slap on the wrist. You mentioned the money involved. There's different figures being thrown about. I think for the first fight, Canelo made somewhere around 40, 50 million. I think it was somewhere around there. He'll probably get almost that much this time. Golovkin's going to get a much bigger cut this time around, and he negotiated that. You saw some of the back and forth where he demanded 50-50. They settled around 45-55, I think. But he's going to get a much, much bigger piece of the pie this time around. So Canelo's going to get about the same thing he got last year at this time. But in the end, the reputation's on the line. And that's what matters most for a fighter. So for Canelo, if he comes into this fight and he struggles to make weight, that's going to look bad. It's going to be a red flag. If he tires out late in the fight against Golovkin, if it goes into the late rounds, that's going to look bad. That's a red flag. If suddenly he doesn't look as ripped, he doesn't look as powerful, he doesn't take the punches from Golovkin as well as he did last September, all those things are red flags. On the flip side, if Canelo makes weight easy, shows up and looks ripped and ready, puts on a great performance, just as well as last year or better than last year, then it does go a long way to healing his reputation. And I think that's really, really important for him.
And who do you like in the rematch here? Now, I had Golovkin 116-112. I thought he won 8-4. Clearly won the first fight, which was scored a draw. But A little bit older now, and Canelo's still in his prime. So who do you like in the rematch?
Well, he is a little bit older. Canelo is in his prime, but Canelo's also coming off a one-year layoff. You know, Canelo hasn't fought since last year. Now, Golovkin only got 2 rounds of work in against Montero on May 5th, but it was 2 rounds of work, and he went through a whole camp, a regular camp. And there's something about fighters as it relates to the rhythm of a camp. You know, when that gets broken, sometimes that can really mess a fighter's rhythm up. And for Canelo, he went through about half of a camp, and then, of course, the fight was canceled, the original rematch that was supposed to take place May 5th. So he had half a camp, and then he's kind of been sitting on his butt. Now, of course, he's been working out and staying in shape, but he hasn't been in a camp all year, a full camp. So he is going to come in, and it's going to be interesting to see if he looks rusty. We call it ring rust, right? If he has any ring rust in those early rounds. You go back to that first fight, the first 2 rounds, Golovkin, I can't quote the exact punch numbers, but he only threw about 30 punches around the first 2 rounds. And then from the 3rd through 12th, it was 50 or 60 or more around. So he got busy. But the first couple rounds, I don't know if it was the big fight jitters. Nope. It was his first fight in Vegas. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. But this time around, he's got to start quicker.
All right, Mike.
He starts quicker. Can you hear me?
We're out of time. That's great stuff, Mike. I'd have to have you on again. You're coming to L.A. next week, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm coming out there for Mikey Garcia is fighting Robert Easter in a lightweight unification on Showtime.
We'll talk to you then. Good stuff, Mike. Thanks for coming on with us. Mike Montero. Montero Unboxing with Dave Smith here at NBC Sports Radio.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.